So now we're ready to start the wings. These are the beads that you'll be needing. First of all, your C beads, which are your white beads, the main part of the wing, and your D beads, which are silver. They're both in size 11 seed beads. Okay. The white is Miyuki Ceylon I'm using here, but you can use any of them. The same with the silver, as long as you don't mix the brands. Now you'll need 4mm beads as well. Again, I'm using 4mm crystal A bead bicones, but you can use any 4mm bead. Your needle and your thread, and I prefer to use a stop bead. Okay, just for safety's sake, it's better to use one. So I'm using a purple size 8 at the moment, so you can see it. And some people like to tie these. I just prefer to weave through it twice, that's all. Slides up and down the thread nicely. Take it an inch or a few inches away from the end of your tail, and you're away. Okay. Right, so let's get started now. So you need to pick up 1D and 11C. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 1C, 11D. We'll just check that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Now, I'm going to show you slightly different to how I've explained it in the pattern. Okay, sometimes you learn as you go along, and I found it slightly better to do it this way now. I'm still meaning to adapt the pattern. So now we pick up 1D and 1C. So that's 1 silver and 1 white. You skip the next C, okay, and pass through the next one. So you've got 3 beads in a little loop there. Okay, it's a bit tricky to keep hold of, but you've got a little T there with the silver at the top. Okay, and now you carry on in peyote stitch. Pick up 1C, pass through the next one, skip one and pass through the next one, I should say. Pick up 1, skip 1, pass through the next one. And this creates your 3rd row of peyote, which you'll see clearly at the end. And another one. Skip 1, pass through the next one. Okay, it's a bit difficult to do it without gripping it with your fingers in these early rows, and so that you can still see it, but it's just a bit more secure if I grip it like this. Right, okay, and the final one, 1C, and pass through the silver one at the end, the D. Okay, so there you've got your 3 rows of peyote. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. And now we just turn and pass back through the first bead along the side here. Okay, you've got a little bit of thread showing for now, but it won't show once the angel's wings are in place. Okay, and now we need to add 2 beads in between all the up beads. So our next row is basically a 2 drop between the up beads. So we pick up 2C there and add. Pick up another 2, pass through the next up bead. Keep them loose, don't make them too tight. It will make the stitches curl around, but that's what you want. But don't pull too tight because you won't be able to work the wings later. So keep it quite loose. Okay, there's another 2. So you will in the end have 5 pairs of C. Okay, and that's the last pair. Now, as I say, just make sure they're not twisted. They're sitting nicely, but keep them loose. You don't want them tight. Okay, I know I've just pulled that one because I'm trying to straighten it, but keep them nice and loose, and then pass back over the bead that you've just exited and through the first of the last pair that you've just added. Okay, like so. And then you're ready to start on the first wing section, because you'll be working through this pair here. Okay, so now we're starting on the first section. We need to pick up one pair of C, and we need to go down the second one in the pair that we've just added, that we're working from. So now we have two pairs. We pass up two beads on one side of the column of pairs, and then pick up another two, pass down the other side of the column of pairs. So now you have three pairs. Pass up one side through three beads, all right, and then another two, pass down three beads, pull it nice and tight, and up four beads, okay, like so. So we're working up one side and down the other, and then finally we pick up the last pair, pass down all four beads, and bring it across and up the five. Now we're working through the beads over and over again because it helps to fill the beads with thread and keep them a little bit stiffer for the wings later. So it's just a little bit of security. Excuse me, I've just tangled my thread. Oops. Right, okay, now this might seem a little bit loose at the moment, but it will tighten and strengthen as you proceed through the wing. So now we're going to start shaping the top of the wing. So we pick up 5C, that's 5, okay, then 1G or your 4mm bead, and then another 5C, like so, alright, just like that, and you pass back down all 5 in the stem that we've just created again. So now we have a little loop with the crystal at the top, and we passed up the 5 beads in the stem, the first 5 beads we've just added. So pass up through 10 beads in total, okay, not through the crystal or the second 5 beads just yet. So you see the feather beginning to shape and span out. So now we add another 9 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 9C. 7, 8, 9. Okay, and we pass down the second 5 of the beads we added in the last step, and just 1 or 2 of the beads in the stem. You don't need to go down all 5 if you don't want to. So you come across to the opposite bead in the stem, up the first 5 we added in the last step, and the first bead of the 9 that we've just added. Okay, so follow the thread path around and come through the bead that we've just added, And now we pick up one. We're going to do a little bit of peyote. Skip one and pass through the next. Pick up one, skip one, pass through the next. Sorry about the traffic noise in the background. Skip one, pass through the next. Pick up one, finally skip one, pass through the next. Now that's the last of the 9 beads that you picked up in the previous round. And just to help to reinforce, okay, we've got the 4 beads there. We can now pass through the crystal or the 4mm bead that you're using. Now this is, watch carefully. Then we pass up through the first of the 9 again, where we started, and then the first bead that we've added in this particular step. And now to add a bit of shape, we pick up 2 and pass through the next C added in the previous round, then pick up 3 C, pass through the next C, then pick up another 2 C and pass through the next C. Okay, and that is the first part of your feather. Now we pass down all of the beads in the column right down to the bottom. A bit tricky. Okay. And then we pass across the bead in here and the first bead of the next pair along. Alright, so we're coming out of the next pair, ready to really repeat this all over again. So we need to go through this again because there is another important step in this one that you need to see. So we begin adding our pairs again. So pick up the second pair, working through the first pair that we added at the very beginning of this, and then up through 2, right here, okay, and I'll just go through the second one. As you work your way along the wing, it might get a bit trickier to just add that first pair, but if you've added too tight, okay, so we go up the column and then down the column on the other side as we did before. So we'll add the 3 pair, down 2, take it across, and up 2, sorry, up 3, pick up your 4th pair, down 3 on one side, up the 4 on the other side, and your final pair, down 4, up the 5. Okay, just like that, and there you have your column again. Brand new stem for your feather, and we'll start shaping it. Okay, so we just need to add the crystal and shape around the top, so we pick up 5C, okay, and your 4mm bead and another 5C, okay, like so, and then we go down, we pass down all 5 on one side of the column. Across and back up the other side, the 5 and the first 5 that you've just picked up. So only the first 5C, not the crystal or the 4mm bead. Alright, and then we pick up 9C, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, 9C, go down the second 5 of the set that you picked up in the last row and a couple more from the main column. Come across, back up the beads on the other side of the column and the 5 from the previous step, and the first one of the 9 that you've just added, like that. All right, it's a bit tricky, but it's not that difficult to get there. Right, now we do the peyote one at a time. So pick up one, skip one, pass through the next, pick up one. This is still in C beads, by the way. Pass through the next, pick up one, skip one, pass through the next, pick up a final one, skip one and pass through the next. Okay, and then pass through the crystal, the first of the 9 beads that you added. Okay, and the first of the 4 that you've just added in this step. Like so. And so now we need to join these 2 together to help hold the wings in shape. And we'll be passing through this bead here, which is the 4th of the 4 beads that you added around the 9. Okay, you've just done it on this one actually, these 4 beads here, and you'll be passing through the 4th one, that one there. Okay, so we pass down that one, that 4th one. Okay, pulling the 2 strands together and back up the one that you're working, like so. And just to help hold it and prevent the thread from relaxing and loosening up, just go through it again one more time and then back up the bead you're working now, and then we can continue finishing off this particular feather. Alright, so we've got 2 beads, we have 2 C beads here, pass through the next one, 3 C, pass through the next C, and finally 2 C. Okay, and once again we go through the whole column and pass along the bead in between and up through the first bead of the next pair along, ready to do your next strand. And we repeat these steps on the 3 remaining pairs, just the same, joining them together as we go, and when we're finished we fasten off and trim our threads. Alright, and we make a second wing, put them both to one side, and this will be what you've got.